Okay, so today, guys, I'm super excited. We have new Diamond leader, Morgan Pickering. Is that how you say your last name?
Yes, Pickering.
And she's going to talk to us about enrolling distributors because she is a freaking queen at it, and I am excited to learn about all of her tips. So, Morgan, can you just start with your story and how you got started, where you are now, etc.?
Yeah, of course. So, hi, I'm Morgan Pickering, and yes, I just went diamond last month with Bethany. So I got started October of 2018. So I was a senior in college out of state, and saw Courtney Lavie posting on Instagram, and so joined her instantly because I was like, I'm on my phone anyways. I am super busy. When I was in school, I was taking 18 hours. I was working part-time. I was in a sorority. I was volunteering. I was also campaigning for a local organization because my major was PR. So doing that. So super busy, and also trying to go from Louisiana to Texas to see family back home. So I was extremely busy, but I was still on my phone. So I'm like, might as well give it a try and see. Um, so I got started. I went Ruby my first month, and back then there was $1,000 bonus. So I got that my first month, and then went to conference that next year, and then went Emerald a couple months after that. So promoted again, and then kind of went through some rough spots. And I feel like honestly, I was literally a year ago, I was trying to go diamond. I wanted to get the $10,000 bonus. But I was not ready in that leadership role to handle that promotion yet. And so going through those ups and downs, I had graduated college. There was a lot of transition moving back home, finding a new normal, because I went from being super busy to doing this full time. And I had to figure out okay, I have all this time now, but I can't just sit around and be like, okay, I'll do it later, do it later, do it later, because then it's like nothing gets done. So I had to find my new normal of a schedule, because I did have so much more time and getting more disciplined with that, but also um, growing as a leader and who I needed to be for a team. So I had, during that time, I did have some people working, but it wasn't consistent at all. And so I was like, you know what? I want a full, consistent working team that is a close community, being together, getting to know each other, and just having that family aspect. I don't want, I know you're going to hear it all the time, and it's great if when people pull off a promotion by themselves, but we're not in a business to do that. And I kind of it bothers me when we hear that too much of, it's that's normal to do a promotion by yourself. Personally, that stresses me the heck out. Promotion months are already stressful enough. Why be more stressed to do it by yourself? We're not in a business to do that. So find people that want to do this with you. And one, it's going to be way more fun. Two, you're going to be helping other people achieve their dreams. And three, you're going to reach your goals even faster. So I really wanted that community. And so during that time that I didn't have a lot of people working, I was doing the things to plan for that. So I was organizing a team page, and really getting, my big issue was going from the shopping spree to Ruby, and I would lose people in that gap. It's kind of okay, I got you a shopping spree. Now it's kind of what do I do with them now? If they don't know how to keep going, but some of them do, that was my big issue. And I was like, well, I don't have a lot of people working right now, so might as well figure it out. And so once I did all the things, because personally for me, I've always been one to point the finger at me first. I'm never gonna say, oh, well, it's them or it's that person, or that I'm gonna take the accountability of what am I maybe doing wrong. And so I took that time to really figure out a solid 90-day plan, because that was my issue too. I wasn't keeping people that long. My turnover was quick. And so I was like, what is a good solid 90-day plan to where after the 90 days, I can kind of still be there, but I'm not going to be holding their hand. And so once I did that over the summer, early fall, and got everything, I think you have to prepare for what you're praying for. You can pray and pray and pray and pray, but God's not going to give you anything if he doesn't think you're prepared for it. So that's what I was doing. I was preparing for what I was praying for. And so finally, the end of fall, all of winter, my team was really growing, when a lot of people think oh, winter's a slow time. I'm personally always do good in the winter time. I don't know if it's because I'm happier because it's Christmas. But that is kind of a big boom season for me. And then of course, just riding this wave into the new year and conference and all those things. But I always really my biggest goal probably was building that community with my girls to really stay around each other, get to know each other, and just being that leader that, I needed to be. So anyways, went to conference again this past year. Said I was going Diamond in February. Didn't quite happen. Said I was going Diamond in March. We almost made it, but it didn't happen, but we pulled it out in April. So, and not to brag, but again, when people say like, oh, I went Diamond by myself, or I had like only one person working, or no one was working on my team and I did get 50 million in volume, like my every single box on my Diamond chart is working like full force. And I truly believe it's because I have set that tone for my team of like, we are a working team. Like, otherwise we're going to find a worker, because that's what we're here for. We're here to reach our goals and make money and change lives. And why try to like drag someone along that doesn't really want help? So, and again, I don't say that's like to my own horn. Like, yes, people quit my team every single month, but, I think it's really good to be keeping that community, and it keeps, just like the fire built. So anyways, we're going for double, and yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. So I'm gonna like circle back to some of that later because I want to hear about like your 90-day plan and stuff. But can you like tell me what you're doing to sign distributors? Like, are you doing host to post? Are you using Instagram, Facebook, whatever?
Yes. So I mainly use Instagram. That is kind of like my baby niche. I'm slowly trying to get into Facebook, mainly for like product tester, host to post, because obviously Bethany kills it. And I'm like, I need to step up my game with customers. So slowly getting into that. I'm trying to be TikTok famous. We're going to see. I don't know. That's like a whole nother realm that it's a struggle bus. But Instagram is like my thing. Like, I've worked really hard to like become good at it. I'm not a professional, but it's just easier for me, and I found like a rhythm that works. So for distributors, I do not message for distributors. I only do product tester, because of course we're probably going to get that response and people say, I don't have the money. And that's just like the perfect gateway to say, well, why not make money from your phone? And that's literally what I say. Anytime people say like, I don't have the money, or I can't spend that right now, or that's too much, whatever, I literally say, no problem. Have you ever thought about making money from your phone? That's it. I'm not trying to like, well, let me tell you what I do and like, no, I keep it super simple and just asking. But ultimately too, I do host to post on Instagram, only about the opportunity. I don't know why, but like I've tried product host to post on Instagram, and it's just like a dud. It's like so weird. Like, Facebook kills it, but Instagram, it's just like, nope, not happening. So I only do the opportunity on Instagram, and I probably sign most of my distributors from host to post. I'll get some people now and then from opportunity, like on my story, like the typical slides we all screenshot and share, and then some from like my actual posts that I do, like posting on my feed. But those are like the main three ways that I do them, is the host to post, my stories, and my feed. I've gotten some people interested from TikTok, but I don't think I've had anyone sign up like yet from that. But those are like the main three that I know if I do those consistently, that I will get results. And I've done that since last summer. Like, works. Love it.
Okay, cool. So do you have the influencer application that a lot of people have now in their Instagram bio?
Yes.
Do you feel like that's like working for you, or it's kind of like the same, or?
Yeah, I definitely love it. I think one, because of the type of industry that we're in, a lot of people are like, I don't know, is that legit? Whatever. And I think it kind of just makes us more like fancy about it. And I do really think it helps just like making it more serious of like, and I think too, if you probably don't have time to fill out an application that takes 2 minutes, then how seriously are you going to take this business? So I send that to everyone. I do have like a 3-message process of talking to DTs. It's like 3 messages, and then like we're signing you up. I don't like linger on with things, but I feel like the influencer application, one, it tells me that they're going to take this seriously because they took the time to go fill it out. It also helps just getting them like getting to know them better. Yeah, I definitely think it does help. And you don't have to do some like long, drawn out thing. Like if you're new and you're like, well, I don't have a lot to talk about. Well, talk about your shopping spree that you got or what you're going to do. Like people want to follow people that know where they're going. So like maybe you don't have a massive story yet, but tell them where you're going. We're doing this as a team. This is what I'm going to achieve, because people want to know like that you're actually going to be doing something. So yeah, I definitely think the application helps for sure. Just getting to know people more and kind of the more serious people by filling it out for sure.
I know that like in our legacy builders page, guys, there's something that Hillary did that like teaches you how to make the influencer application. So if you guys go to the legacy builder page, I'm sure you can find it, or like message me later and I can help you find it.
Yes.
So if you guys have questions along the way, just like drop them in the chat. Morgan, how do your conversations normally go? Like you don't have to like give us your script or like anything like that. Just like walk me through the general idea of like how your conversation goes.
For distributors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually got this from Jade. She did a video, and I'll try to find the link and send it to you because I didn't make it up. Do not give me credit. But she was kind of like saying it, like, and she didn't share her script, but like as she was talking, I was kind of like playing it, pause, typing, playing it, pause, and just kind of like made my own gist. But it's 3 messages. After that, I basically explained everything, unless they have some like crazy question. But first, like let's say they like message me from a hosted post, and I'll say, hey, like I'm so happy you're interested, here's my influencer application to fill out, and then I can send you some more info, because I make everyone fill it out, because again, if you can't even fill that out, then I don't know how far we can go with this business. So I have them fill that out. Once they fill it out, I'll say, I got your application. And then I go in, I say, so a quick run through, I kind of go into like the gist of, we're a health and wellness company, and like I do this from my phone. What else is in there? Like we don't keep any inventory, things like that. Like Jade kind of broke it down to where it's like way more simple, so I can kind of find it. Might be in the I'm sure it's on our YouTube channel. But I think it's on like the Wake Pray Slay pages too. But that literally changed everything. I changed my wording for distributors, I think last September, and ever since then it's boomed. So I do that first message, and then I end it and say, about how much do you want to make monthly? They'll respond, they'll say, I want to do this for, and then they'll kind of give me the reason why they want to make that much. And so I'll say, I love that, we can definitely make that happen. Like just reassuring them, I think that really helps. And then I say, I think this would be perfect for you, so I work this in the nooks and crannies of my day. It's really easy to fit around your schedule. We don't I think that's when I don't, like I mentioned, we don't keep any inventory. This can work around, whatever you have going on, things like that. And then I say, what questions do you have for me? And so that's when I open it up for them to answer. And so I also have little snippets. Like if they say, well, what do you actually do? Like if they're still kind of confused on what I do, I have a snippet for that. If they say, well, how do you make money? I have that. And then after I answer all their questions, the last one is like, okay, so I'm sure that you're familiar with, because Jade also said this, like, reassuring that like their thoughts on things are like valid. So by saying like, I'm sure you're used to people having to pay, to join, it's, like a lot of money. With us, it's only, normally $99, but right now it's half off, or like it ends tonight. But it's for that. You'll also be able to get like a shopping spree and kind of like the extra like incentives, and you can make your money right back, da da da. How does that sound? And that's the third message. And after that, it's pretty much like we've answered everything. We've talked about everything. Now you know the pricing. Let's get you in. So that's literally it. And then if they say yes, I get their number and I text them. And yeah, and then we just go from there. And I'm like, are you ready to sign up? And we sign up. So yeah, very simple.
Awesome. So what do you do if they just like stop answering you? Like at any point in the conversation even?
Yeah, so I love just sending, did my message go through, with a question mark. Like obviously we can see if they read the message, like it went through, but I always send that, and I do that normally like at nighttime before bed. I will go through and scroll through all the conversations, and if at any point like it died somewhere, like they read it and they didn't respond, I will just type, did my message go through, question mark. And like, again, I know that they read it, but people are busy. Like, I'm sure people that I talk to, they just don't think about me all day. Like, oh, I need to get back to that girl. Like, they could have kids or stuff going on, or before, COVID, like there's life. They're not just thinking about me all day, so I just send that, and it's a very good like conversation starter. And no one I've ever had come back and be like, well, yeah, I'm sure like you read my message, or like you saw I read it. Like, people aren't going to do that. So, and I've had a lot of people that just say, oh my gosh, my kid like threw something at me and I got sidetracked, or just like crazy stuff. Like, people just get busy. So, that is what I do to start it back up. And then if they still ignore me after that, if it's about the opportunity, sometimes I'll just send them like the next day and be like, hey girl, were you still interested? Very short. I don't really go into like the typical like follow-up messages yet. I just keep it like very simple of like, hey, were you still interested? Or hey, did you have any other questions? Did you have any other concerns? Just like one quick like question, just to see if they'll respond. And then like if they're still kind of ghosting you after that, that's when I'll kind of like get them like on the follow-up train and try to get them to respond. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So like once they've ignored you when you said like, are you still interested? Then you like wait a little while, like a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and then you'll do like the regular like follow-ups every so often, or
Yeah, so I follow up every Friday with people. So like if I'm talking to them, even if it's like on a Wednesday and I've sent them multiple messages and like they didn't respond, then like I'll start that Friday and start following up. Because I have had two. I followed up with people, literally happened to me twice this week. I followed up with people weekly, and then they message me and they're like, oh wait, I joined someone else. And I even followed up with them, and I'm like, because a lot of times like if we don't follow up with them and like I drop the ball somewhere, I'll be like, well, that's my fault. But yeah, so that is why I'm just like, get them following up as soon as you can, because you don't know if you miss like 1 week and they see someone else for a second, they could join them. So yeah, definitely key on the follow-ups.
yeah, gotta love when that happens. So
Yeah.
Jade, I know, does like her follow-ups, she'll send like different stuff. Like she'll send them if they stop answering, she'll start talking about products, or she'll start talking about like the giveaway. Do you just continually follow up about the same thing, or do you switch up like what you're asking them?
For distributors, I basically keep it to like the same thing for like following up as a distributor. I should probably, I guess, like you kind of, I guess, gave me this idea, like probably ask them to do a hosted post. I feel like that would be a good idea. But I do actually do that for products. Like if I'm talking to someone as like a typical like, do I get your order in, or kind of like that same thing, like different, I do have follow-up messages of like, hey, just wanted to reach out, I'm doing a hair challenge, do you want to try out our new hair, skin, and nails? And they could have been interested in like coffee. So I do change it up that way, because I think like I watched the same training of that, and I was like, hey, that's kind of like a good idea to like switch it. So I do that for products, but I don't for distributors, but I probably should, or at least like with hosted posts, because if they're interested in the opportunity, I always rather get distributors than customers. Like the quickest way to get volume is distributors, like hands down. So I kind of want to keep it on that same path. But yeah, I think it'd be a great idea if they haven't done a hosted post yet to at least do that for sure.
Okay, and then so crap, I had a question. So do people like normally assign on the spot with you, or it's normally like after you've followed up once or twice?
I feel like I have a pretty good ratio of like on the spot. Like I don't really give a lot, like people a lot of time to think about it. Cause like if you put like in my application, I have like towards the end before I put like, how do you want me to contact them? I put in there like, how long do you like have on social media, or how long could you spend, or something like that of time. And so they always put a certain amount of time. So if you have time, you are interested, you have a goal, what is there to think about? You know what I mean? So I don't really leave a lot of time with that. So I do have a pretty good ratio of like getting them to sign on the spot. But other than that, I would say mostly it doesn't take me more than like 3 to 4 follow-ups. After that, it's kind of like they're probably never going to respond to me, or like, okay, girl, it's time. So, but that's too because I'm following up like so much, or like so soon within like that same day, the day after, and then I start them like on the follow-up every Friday. So, yeah, pretty soon.
What about when people, like, you tell people the last message and you're like, it's only $99 to start up with us, and then they just like say, no, I don't have the money for that. What's your response for that usually?
So I can be kind of blunt sometimes, but I normally say that's exactly why we have to get you started so we can help you start making money. That's literally what I say. And so if they come back and they're like, no, I legit don't have money, I know they can't just like pull money out of thin air. So I'm not going to like, bombard them, but I'm just going to say, what is this? Sometimes I'll ask them, like depending on the person, I'll say either like, can you borrow the money from someone, or if you have a credit card, things like that. I know like some people don't like credit cards and stuff, but like you're going to make your money right back. So it's not like you're going to be out of it for a long time. So I'll ask that sometimes, or I say, when's the soonest that you can get $99? Or whatever, how much it is at the time. So I'll normally like ask those questions because I don't want to like just leave them hanging, but I rather like get a date at least. So they're like, well, I may get paid this day, or maybe check back here, just like, something. But normally like most people I feel like do have the $99 in their account. It's just like it would be pushing it if they paid for it. So that's why I always say like that's exactly why we need to get you started. So, and I have had people that I literally say like that's why we got to get you started, and they have said, yeah, you're right, let's just do it. And I'm like, I thought you didn't have the money, girlfriend. So don't get scared to say that. I don't think I've ever had someone like respond rudely about that. Like the worst they're going to come back and say is like, no, I'm sorry. Like I literally don't have that. And I have had people say that. And then, we'll just go from there and get a date, and then hopefully they'll sign up then.
So, what do you think on average, like how many people you're talking to a day versus how many people are actually like signing up with you? Or how many people you're talking to in a week versus how many people are actually signing up with you?
Yeah. Um, let's see. So it kind of varies because the only thing that like I could probably gauge it with like messaging wise, because I don't message for distributors, is messaging for host to post. So I feel like I try to get at least 10 to 15 host to post up on Instagram about the opportunity. And I'll probably, I don't know, get like 3 or 4 people interested, which like is not a good like ratio. But I'm like following up with so many people every day from like the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. So it kind of just, and then, when there's deals going on, that's like the best time to follow up with someone. Like I had someone join like yesterday, and she was like a few follow ups, down, and ghosted me forever. But yeah, I honestly don't get a lot of new potentials a day. It's just like I have so many that I followed up with. So it's kind of like whether it's a follow up or a newbie, or, things like that. It kind of varies.
Okay, cool. So you're just like really on top of follow-ups, it seems like. So that's where you're getting like a bunch of them from. Okay.
Yes.
So, to kind of circle back to what you were talking about during your story, so then how do you get them started? Like, what is your 90-day plan in basics? What does it consist of?
Yes. So I actually have like a newbie like checklist. Like I'm very like OCD. I'm like not green at all, but I do get like OCD on like keeping things organized. Otherwise, I'm a hot mess. So I knew like when people were leaving, I was like, I need something to like stay on top of. Plus, when you're like enrolling a lot of people, no matter how great the girl is, like you might just forget about her for a day. And so we don't want to let that happen. But I have a checklist of everything. And so whenever someone signs up, I write their name at the top, and it literally has every step to do from the second they sign up to getting them to Ruby on this checklist. So like every day I look it up and I'm like, oh, Sarah is on this step and Susie is on this step. So like I don't even have to think about it. So we get started, they sign up, they fill out their tax info, they put up their first post, and it's like looking for product testers. I have them watch Jade's. She has a welcome video on YouTube. It's like pretty short and it's just like generic. Excuse me. And then I have like a welcome video on my team page, kind of just talking like about generic stuff and going into their chicken noodle soup list. And so then we do that. We message, their close, like more market friends and family. And then I have them start A to Z, message all their Instagram followers a product tester message, because our first goal is their shopping spree. So I have them do all that. A through Z, like literally everyone is going to get a message. And if anyone responds, like, and I tell my girls too, I'm like, if they say yes or no, send me a screenshot. I don't care what they said, send me a screenshot. Because if they say no, we're going to have them do a host post about the opportunity, just because they're going to need distributors down the road anyway. So it's fine. So I have them message all of them. Once they're done messaging all of them with their product tester message, I have them go to Facebook, and this is kind of like new since I finally figured out a good rhythm with Facebook app, but I have them go on Facebook and start sharing about the giveaway and doing post to post. Then I'll have them go back on Instagram and message about host to post. So like I always have them like, we gotta be talking to people, because two, they're not gonna take like, they're not gonna have so much like dead time to think about like, oh, I'm not getting results, because they're always gonna be like, even to newbies, I feel like even a response is like a win for them. Even if it's not a yes yet, it's like people are just responding to me, and I cheer that on. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're getting so much responses. Like, you have to keep them excited no matter what. So messaging on both. And then what else? I have them do the color personality. Like, I swear that helps me so much. I'm kind of like red, yellow. I can be like super red or super yellow. It's like Hitler to Mother Teresa. Like, I like need to find a good in between. But I have them do that, and then I'll put like their color like in a heart next to their name. So like I know when I'm talking to someone, kind of how I need to talk to them. Like if it's a red person, I'm like, girl, like if you're going for this promotion, like we got to get the volume in. If it's someone yellow, I'm like, you're doing so good. How are things going? Or if it's, someone green, greens and blues, I feel like you gotta kind of figure that part out. But invite blues on Zooms. They want to just like be a part of the party, things like that. But I have them do the color personality test. I have like a social media makeover video that kind of goes into like the gist of social media. Like I don't get into branding and all that, but just like have a clear profile picture. Make sure people know what your name is. Like if your username is like cutie pie 123, like they're not even gonna know who you are. So like make sure your name is visible, have a cute bio, just kind of like clean it up because you are a professional now. So that's kind of what I have them go over. And then by the time they're doing all that, they should get their shopping spree by messaging the amount that, even if they have a small network, they're going to be on like the different platforms and stuff. So they should get their shopping spree by then. I have a post in my team page once they get their shopping spree saying like, I'm so excited. I just got my shopping spree. I'm getting free product. If you're interested in doing what I'm doing, I can show you the ways, They post that. And then we go more into like life post. They're not really doing life posts when they're doing their shopping spree, because I really want them in people's like inboxes and like talking to people versus like solely waiting, on posts. So that's when we go into life posts, sharing their stories on their story, things like that. Steps to success, I get their non-negotiable 9 list out, which is kind of like a 6 list, but it's just 9 things instead of 6. So going over that, and then we'll do a one-on-one Zoom about going Ruby. Or if like they already have people, on their team, I might get an emerald chart out, whatever. Just like kind of wherever they are, we'll do like a one-on-one Zoom and kind of game plan for that. So it's kind of not the full 90 days, but it just gives them like, there's always a next step. So whenever I'm talking to them, I'm like, hey, are you ready for a next step? Okay, are you ready for this? Let's get you started on this. So we're just like, it keeps that going to where it's not like they get stalled out and then they're like, what's going on? Like, I'm not going anywhere. People want to like keep moving. So by the time then they're working on Ruby, we're going to be, ramping up the host to post for distributors, getting their team members started, and then, they start training. And so by then it's just kind of like a ripple effect. Then they start training their girls, and it's just duplication all over again.
That's awesome. I really like the putting the color heart next to their name. I need to steal that because I have it like written down like somewhere on their page and then I have to go look at it and see like how am I supposed to be talking to them. But if I just put it next to their name when I'm texting them, it's easier.
Yeah, I have them do two. Like I will like tag them in it and be like, what are your two colors? And so they'll give me like their first one and then like their second one. So like all my girls have like two hearts. So I'm kind of like some of my girls are like red and green. So they're gonna ask me a million questions about the bonuses, but I'm like, okay, but at the end of the day, like, let's go. And then some are like yellow, blue, and they're gonna be like my fun, sweet, like, let's hang out type of people. And then some are like, green and yellow, and they're just gonna want to be love, but then ask me a million questions. So yeah, it definitely helps, you know, talking to them and stuff for sure.
Okay, so we only have 7 minutes left because I have the free Zoom.
Oh,
But
me too.
last question is how do you keep yourself motivated? Like what self-development are you doing?
Yes. So, I think first on staying motivated, I think you really have to just say like, this is the only option. Like, I don't like, I have a college degree. I could very well like go get a job if I wanted to. I mean, not right now because COVID, but, which is like another reason why I'm like pushing so hard and like everyone should be, because it's like, where are you going to go? Like places are kind of opening up, but like, you know, but I think I don't really give myself an option of like thinking like, well, there's other things out there, and don't give yourself a timeline. If you're going to be like, well, I'm just going to give myself 60 days and see, or 90 days and see, or 1 month, or like, you can't do that, because our company like prides themselves in residual income, and you're never going to get the benefits of that if you give yourself a timeline, because if you do, you're probably just going to do like the bare minimum to prove yourself right that it didn't work. Well, it only works if you work. So I think too, just having such a big why, like my big why is like moving out of my parents' house. Like that's what keeps me up late. That's what makes me wake up early. That's what makes me keep sending out more messages, because like I want to get my own place. So I think just having a big enough why, and I tell my girls too, I'm like, if you can live without your why, get rid of it. If your why is to get your nails done, but you're fine with painting your own nails, that's not a why. That's not a goal. That's not a reason. You need something that like you feel like you can't live without. If it's putting food on your table, what are you going to do? Starve? No, you need to put food on your table. If it's paying off debt, what, you're going to keep racking up more debt? No, you need to pay it off. So I think having a big enough why is really crucial too. So it's not that I'm always motivated, because I'm not. There's a lot of days that I'm probably not motivated, but I'm disciplined, and I will want people to be more disciplined than motivated any days. There's some days to where like Courtney will ask me, she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I really don't want to be doing this right now, but I'm doing it. And that's what you just have to do, because it's like another, 9-to-5 job. Like you're not going to love going to your job every day, but you do because you need the money. So it's the same thing here. You just have to be disciplined enough, because me and Bethany aren't your boss. We're going to be like, hello, clock in. You have to get yourself up and do that even when you don't feel like it. Like I literally have one of those little like felt boards you put the little letters in, and on there it says your goals don't care about how you feel. And I'll be sitting there and I'm like, I'm tired, and then I look at that and I'm like, dang it, I gotta message people. So they don't care. Your goals do not care how you feel. You just have to do it. But with self-development, I hop on Shay's journaling Zooms every morning. If you're not on them, get on them. They are probably one of the main reasons why I went Diamond last month, hands down. Bethany actually got me the Hi God, It's Me, which is an amazing devotion or devotional. I also have the Confident Woman devotional, which I think is a really big one that helped me, because I ain't confident all the time. I'm really not. I doubt myself a lot, and we're just human and it happens. But I feel like that one's just good in life, and especially building as a leader, because you're not going to feel confident. Sometimes you're going to feel like you suck as a leader, like, and that's okay. But reading that every day and just getting your mind right. I love that one. And they're very short. Like I love reading, but like love stories like Nicholas Sparks, but like reading like actual personal development is a struggle sometimes. But I do have a book. It's Everyday Millionaires by Chris Hogan. amazing. It's like the basic of the basic people that came from nothing that have made it as a millionaire. Talking about that. Craig Rochelle, love his podcast. It's amazing. Abby Kappa, she's really good. Who else? Who else? I mean, Jade has a podcast. Pam does. What other books? The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, Awakening the Giant Within. There's like a whole like chunk that I've read that I can send Bethany to send y'all because I know we're short on time. But it's definitely just like something. If you don't like reading, don't force yourself to read. Listen to something or watch a training. Like I'm a visual person, so I love like watching something. So any old trainings, just like whatever you like doing, if it's watching, listening, reading, find it. Don't force yourself to do something because you're not going to retain it anyways, but you got to do something because this business is hard. Like, you know, it's wearing sometimes. So you have to be fueling your mind for sure.
Awesome. I literally just wrote your goals don't care how you feel on a mirror.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Morgan. I'm going to send you the recording. Thank you guys for hopping on.
Yes, thank you for having me.